Right. Hello? Is this thing on? Hello? Right, where are we? No. No. Oh, yeah. No, definitely not. Yep, that'll do. Right. My name is Ben Cathro, and I am broadcasting to your digital screens from Fort William, thanks to the wizards behind the internet. My job is to give you all the inside info before the opening round of the 2024 Downhill World Cup. Perfect timing given the Pinkbike Fantasy League is back, which means you need all the data to get those hot picks before the submission deadline this Saturday at 8 AM Greenwich Mean Time. Go sign up if you haven't already, and the link is in the description. There's always a lot to report on after a long off-season, and this one contained some rather chunky roster changes and even some new teams forming. Plenty to talk about, so I won't waste your time anymore. Let's kick things off with some big names. Valley Hole has made the move back to YT Bikes after 3 successful years on the Trek RockShox team. This seems like a safe move given her collection of gold medals gained on their bikes in the past. They do have a different bike that's been hiding under wraps though, and rumours are it might break cover this weekend. There are a few new bikes making appearances this week, so keep an eye out for the tech vid on Pinkbike with Henry Quinney. There's a tweaked Commensal, and will we see the gearbox intents, and what the heck is Orbea up to? One of the biggest shocks this off-season was the announcement that multiple World Cup winner and veteran of World Cup racing Greg Manar was given the boot of Santa Cruz Syndicate race team. A lot of us expected Greg to see out his career with the brand, and when the departure was announced, it seemed unlikely that he'd find another good home with another team. Then the collective statement of, "What? No way!" was heard around the world when the Narco Race Division announced he would be leading their team in 2024. Greg joins Gracie Hemstreet on the team she put on the map with her progressive riding, World Cup podiums and insane skills displayed at events like Hardline earlier in the year in Tasmania. Gracie has shown that she has the speed to win World Cups, and given her early season displays and revamped team, we might see some fireworks this year. A man we saw very little of last year, but we did get to hear his sweet, soothing and knowledgeable tones on the live feed, is Aaron Gwyn. A complicated forearm fracture sidelined him for the entire 2023 season. Then, frame sponsor Intense Cycles suddenly pulled their support from Gwyn's team at the end of the season, which had fans wondering if the Gwynner would return. Like with Greg, we saw a move you wouldn't expect as Gwyn announced he'd be riding for the small but successful brand Crestline. He has been spotted riding their downhill bike, but he is reportedly not up to full strength, and there's no word on if he'll be racing in Fort William. It doesn't look like we'll be seeing Mariam Nicole this weekend after a thumb ligament injury while training in New Zealand. She may figure out a way to race, but it is looking unlikely, which is a shame. Her teammate and absolute danger man Amaury Pierron will be gracing our screens again after recovering from his scary neck fracture at round 1 last year. The man loves bouncing back from an injury and will be a threat this weekend. Super cheap on the Pinkbike Downhill Fantasy League as well. From one danger man to another, we won't be seeing Jackson Goldston at the opening round, or many of the other races apparently. A ruptured knee from a crash at Hardline at the start of the year will stop the 2-time World Cup winner from taking to the start line. A cool outcome from this though is that Australian up-and-comer Ole Davies has filled Jackson's spot on the Santa Cruz Syndicate and will be racing for the famous team this season. After consistently working his way up to the top 10 last year, he'll be keen to be at the front this season. In the junior categories, the top riders from last year have all completed their second year of junior and are now moving up into the elite category to face new challenges. Riders like Valentina Roa Sanchez, Lisa Bouladou, Amy Kenyon, Ryan Pinkerton, Nathan Ponvion and Bodhi Kuhn will pitch their skills against the fastest racers in the world and see where they stack up as rookies in this elite class. This leaves the doors open for second-year juniors like Milan Falke and Aris van Leuven to battle with the new breed who are coming in and might just surprise a few of the established riders. Obviously, the usual suspects of Loic Bruni, Loris Vergier, Finn Isles, Andreas Kolb, Nina Hoffmann and Tanni Seagrave will not take things lying down and will be furiously battling for those top steps on the podium. That is the off-season shenanigans out the way, so let's have a quick look at what awaits them. The track at Fort William is mostly unchanged from the World Champs course last year, hopefully a bit drier. There's a few taping changes and a small reroute before the motorway that removes the metal bridge that took out Matt Walker, which I'll show you in agonising detail when we get inside the tape. It's still a long, fast, brutal track that is rough on bikes and bodies. The Scottish granite is grippy for tyres, but also bodies and tumbles can do a lot of damage. The skips and rubbish bins at the venue can be seen filled with bent wheels and punctured tyres by the end of the weekend's racing. Racing at this round takes place on the Sunday instead of the usual Saturday that most events saw last year. This is because there's no cross-country race in Scotland to claim the prime time slot, so downhill racers get to be the main show, as it should be. There's also been a big tweak to the schedule, with semi-finals getting shifted from race day to the penultimate day just after qualifying runs. This has allowed junior and elite finals to all happen on the last day of racing of the weekend, which should work a lot better in my eyes. It does mean that riders will have to learn a new schedule and adapt fast at this opening round. The weather in Fort William can play havoc with any planned event. Rain and, more importantly, wind plays a big role in whether the event can go ahead, as the gondola, which is exposed on the open hillside, can't operate in high winds. Luckily, this weekend looks to be calm with only a small chance of light rain, which in my personal opinion actually improves the sometimes loose and marbly track. As we move into the first day of practice on Friday, look out for the riders that performed at World Champs here last year. They'll be wearing the rainbow stripes, so they are kinda hard to miss. The Kiwi junior girls did the business here last year, claiming all the medals. Aris van Leuven, Sasha Ernest remain in the junior category this year, so they will both be the ones to watch at this opening round. In the junior men's, most of the top riders have made the step up into elite. So the riders left that performed well here are Lucas Lanyo and Milan Falke on Goodman Racing, who finished the season strong on the podium. The elite women had some tight racing here last year, with Valley Hole taking the top spot just ahead of Camille Balanche and Marine Cabarrou. Cami's form is unknown, as she hasn't raced since her big crash mid-season last year, so it's kind of hard to predict how she'll do. Marine, however, has been slowly building back to World Cup winning speed and will be a threat to the champ Valley Hole. Charlie Hatton has gone well here many times before winning World Champs last year. His teammate Andreas Kolb finished up in second place just behind Charlie, so would be a savvy pick. Laurie Greenland did silly things at the National here last year, wiping the floor with everyone, and then he placed third at World Champs while not being 100% healthy, so he will be a danger. Hopefully that has you primed for racing this week and you're able to make some clean fantasy selections. Remember, link in the description. Stay tuned for the course preview, the new Corners for Doe video, the world famous Inside the Tape, and the always stressful story of the race. It's going to be a heck of a year. Let's go racing. Cool, right. Harry, make it, quick, upload it.